Jeffrey Lamar Williams, you know him as Young Thug, one of the most influential rappers of his generation. Young Thug exploded onto the scene, a fresh, daring sound, pushing boundaries. He wasn't afraid to experiment. His music, a tapestry of unusual sounds, a unique vocal style, from humble beginnings to rap superstardom. This is the story of Young Thug. The trial of Young Thug wasn't just a legal matter, it became a cultural moment, a reflection of our times. It raised questions about fame, justice, and the criminal justice system. Young Thug's case resonated with many. His story, a reminder of the struggles faced by young black men in America. The trial, a microcosm of systemic issues, it became bigger than Young Thug himself. The trial played out like a courtroom drama. Each day brought new revelations. Witnesses took the stand. Evidence was presented. The jury had to decide. The world held its breath. May 2022, Atlanta, Georgia. The air was thick with humidity and anticipation. The city was buzzing, but not with the usual excitement. This time it was different. Fear and uncertainty hung heavy in the air. The target? Young Thug? Atlanta's golden boy? The charges? Unthinkable. Rumors started swirling like a dark cloud, whispers of gang activity, of a world hidden beneath the glitz and glamour. The police were watching. They had been for a while, building their case, waiting for the right moment to strike. Young Thug, they alleged, wasn't just a rapper, he was a kingpin, the head of a dangerous criminal enterprise. The accusations were shocking. RICO charges, Racketeer-Influenced and Corrupt Organizations Act, a law designed to take down organized crime. The police claimed Young Thug's record label, YSL, wasn't just a music label, it was a front, a way to mask their illegal activities. Fans were skeptical. The indictment sent shockwaves through the city. It was a sprawling document, 88 pages, listing charge after charge, conspiracy, racketeering, murder, armed robbery. The list went on and on. It was a rap sheet fit for a Hollywood gangster film, not a chart-topping musician. The indictment named 28 individuals, all alleged members of Young Thug's YSL collective. They were accused of operating a criminal enterprise that wreaked havoc on the city. The prosecution claimed they were responsible for a string of violent crimes, shootings, robberies, even murders. They painted a picture of a ruthless gang operating with impunity. Young Thug's lyrics were used against him. The prosecution argued that his music wasn't just art, it was a confession. Evidence of his crimes. They pointed to violent lyrics, gang signs flashed in music videos. They claimed it was all part of a larger conspiracy. The defense team was quick to respond. They denounced the charges as outrageous, a desperate attempt to criminalize black art and culture. They vowed to fight the charges tooth and nail. The trial cast a long shadow over Atlanta. The city was on edge. The stakes were high. This wasn't just about Young Thug's freedom. It was about something bigger. It was about race, class, and the criminal justice system. It was about the power of music and the responsibility of artists. The media frenzy was relentless. Cameras swarmed the courthouse. Reporters camped outside, hungry for any scrap of information. Every development made national news. The public was captivated. They followed the case with a mix of fascination and horror. Inside the courtroom, the tension was palpable. Prosecutors presented their case, meticulously laying out their evidence. The defense team fought back, challenging every piece of evidence. They argued that Young Thug was being unfairly targeted. The city held its breath, waiting for the verdict. The outcome would have far-reaching consequences. The courtroom was packed. Journalists crammed into the gallery, every seat taken. The air crackled with anticipation. The weight of the moment hung heavy. This was it, the trial of the decade, Young Thug versus the state of Georgia. The prosecution, sharp and unrelenting. They painted a picture of Young Thug as a mastermind, a criminal, hiding in plain sight. His music, they argued, wasn't art. It was a roadmap to his crimes. Lyrics, they claimed, were confessions. Music videos, not entertainment, but boasts of their illegal activities. The defense, passionate and determined, they countered. Young Thug, they argued, was an artist. A product of his environment, yes, but not a criminal. His lyrics, artistic expression, protected free speech. They accused the prosecution of twisting his words, using his art against him. The prosecution called witness after witness, hoping to build their case brick by brick. They presented evidence, wiretaps, surveillance footage, and financial records. They alleged it all pointed to Young Thug, the puppet master behind a vast criminal network. Former associates took the stand, some visibly nervous, others eager to tell their side of the story. They testified about YSL's inner workings, painting a picture of a group teetering on the edge of legality, music intertwined with crime, loyalty tested by violence. One witness, a former friend of Young Thug, delivered a particularly damning testimony. He spoke of coded conversations, of threats veiled as jokes. He claimed Young Thug ordered violence against rivals. His words sent shockwaves through the courtroom. The defense was relentless. They cross-examined each witness, poking holes in their stories, highlighting inconsistencies. They argued that the witnesses were unreliable. As the trial progressed, cracks began to appear in the prosecution's case. Witnesses contradicted each other. Evidence didn't always add up. The defense hammered home their points, highlighting every discrepancy, every inconsistency. The prosecution's star witness, the one who claimed to have heard Young Thug order a hit, faltered under cross-examination. He admitted to lying to the police, to changing his story. His credibility, once rock solid, crumbled under the weight of his own words. The defense argued that the prosecution was cherry-picking evidence, ignoring anything that didn't fit their narrative. The media, initially quick to paint Young Thug as guilty, began to shift their tone. The public, once certain of Young Thug's guilt, began to have second thoughts. The outcome, once seemingly inevitable, was now uncertain. Just when it seemed the trial would drag on for months, news broke. A plea deal had been reached. The courtroom buzzed with confusion. Whispers rippled through the gallery. What did this mean? Was Young Thug admitting guilt? The terms of the deal were complex. Young Thug would plead guilty to 1 count of racketeering. In exchange, the state would drop the remaining charges. He would also serve a period of probation. The length? Undisclosed. The judge, stern and measured, addressed Young Thug directly. He asked if he understood the terms of the deal, if he was pleading guilty of his own free will. Young Thug, in a low voice, responded, "Yes, Your Honor." The courtroom fell silent. The gravity of the moment hung heavy in the air. The news of Young Thug's plea deal reverberated beyond the courtroom walls. It spread like wildfire, igniting social media and sparking heated debates. How could their idol, the man who seemed invincible, be brought down like this? The charges, the trial, the plea deal, it was a lot to process. Young Thug, once representing Atlanta's vibrant energy, was now a cautionary tale. The legal battle had taken its toll. Gone was the swagger, replaced by a somberness. The court of public opinion delivered a mixed verdict. Some believed Young Thug had gotten off easy. Others saw him as a victim of circumstance. The terms of Young Thug's probation were strict, a constant reminder of the precarious tightrope he now walked. His movements were restricted, his associations scrutinized. Random drug tests, mandatory counseling sessions, and regular check-ins with a probation officer became his new normal. The world that once revolved around recording studios, sold-out concerts, and lavish parties had shrunk considerably. The freedom to create music, to collaborate with other artists, to connect with his fans. All of it was now filtered through the lens of his legal situation. The impact on his career was immediate and severe. Planned tours were cancelled, endorsement deals vanished, and his income stream, once a gushing river of royalties and performance fees, slowed to a trickle. The music industry, a fickle and unforgiving beast, moved on with alarming speed, yet amidst these challenges there were glimmers of hope. Loyal fans rallied around him, organizing online campaigns, sharing messages of support and eagerly awaiting his return to music. Some artists spoke out in solidarity, condemning the charges against him and calling for his release. The question on everyone's mind was, could young Thug rebuild his life and salvage his career after this very public fall from grace? The answer, like so much else in this complex case, was far from clear. The probationary period loomed large, a constant shadow hanging over his future. One misstep, one violation of the strict terms could land him back in court, facing the full weight of the law. The pressure was immense, the stakes higher than ever before. Yet those who knew him best, the collaborators who had witnessed his creative genius firsthand, believed that music was his lifeline, his therapy, his way of making sense of the world. They were confident that he would find a way to channel his experiences, his struggles, his triumphs into his art. The question remained, would the world be ready to listen? Behind the scenes, away from the glare of the courtroom cameras, a different story was unfolding. Whispers of backroom deals, of pressure tactics by the prosecution, of witnesses coerced into testifying against young Thug. These whispers, often dismissed as rumors, persisted, fueled by mistrust of the criminal justice system. Some legal experts questioned the prosecution's reliance on RICO charges, a statute originally designed to dismantle organized crime syndicates, not to target musical collectives. They argued that using young Thug's lyrics as evidence was a slippery slope for artistic freedom. The plea deal, while bringing closure, did little to quell the whispers. Young Thug's case served as a stark reminder of the double-edged sword of fame. The same spotlight that had illuminated his talent, that had propelled him to stardom, now threatened to consume him, casting long shadows that obscured the man behind the music. Every aspect of his life, from his lyrics to his social media posts, from his choice of friends to his business dealings, was subjected to intense scrutiny, dissected and analyzed for any hint of wrongdoing. The pressure to maintain a certain image, to project an aura of invincibility, took its toll. The lines between his public persona and his private life blurred, creating a distorted reflection that ultimately contributed to his downfall. The case also highlighted the complex relationship between artists and their communities. Young Thug, despite his success, never forgot his roots in Atlanta. He gave back to his community, supporting local charities, mentoring aspiring musicians. Yet his arrest and subsequent conviction cast a pall over his legacy, raising uncomfortable questions about the responsibility of artists to be role models, to use their platforms for good, even as they navigate the often treacherous waters of fame and fortune. The legal battle ended, but the emotional and psychological scars ran deep. The experience left an indelible mark on young Thug, a reminder of the fragility of freedom and the capricious nature of justice. The isolation, uncertainty, and pressure took a toll. The once ebullient artist emerged subdued, introspective, forever changed. Probation offered a path back, but with its own challenges. Constant surveillance and restrictions were a heavy burden, yet young Thug's spirit remained unbroken. He turned to music for solace, using his platform to advocate for reform. The trial silenced his music but amplified his message, transforming him into a powerful voice for change. Young Thug's trial is over. The gavel has fallen, a plea deal struck, but the questions linger like smoke after a fire. They swirl around us, demanding answers. What is justice? Is it blind, as they say, or does it see color? Does it see wealth? Young Thug's case captivated a nation. It was a story of music and fame, of crime and punishment. It was a story about race and justice in America, a story that's all too familiar, a story that forces us to confront uncomfortable truths. What do we learn from this, from the rise and fall of a music icon? Do we see the flaws in our justice system, the systemic biases that disproportionately impact black men, or do we look away? Choosing comfort over accountability, young Thug is no longer just an artist, he's a symbol, a cautionary tale. A reminder that fame and fortune offer no immunity, that the pursuit of justice is often a long and winding road, the journey rarely fair, the outcome never certain.